Hello, and my guest today is an old friend. Um, he's quite the repertoire, and he's younger than me. A buddy from Brighton Beach, New York, in Brooklyn. Hold on, I'll bring him in. His name is Ari Barkin. Hold on a second. Here we go. Hey, Ari, how you doing,
Yo,
man?
what's going on, Gabe? Thank you so much
Good.
for having me.
Thank you for not smoking. I'm just kidding. I know you usually have a smoke with what's his name with the cigars.
Ah, like the classic man you are.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm just getting an update that we're having trouble streaming on Facebook. I'm just checking what the issue is.
Sure.
Yeah, just checking the issue. Going live and it seems to be. Ha ha ha. Hold on one second.
Take all the time in the world.
Yeah. Let me just see what's going on here. Okay. Oh, apparently we're having trouble streaming to Facebook. But let's move forward anyway. We still have a YouTube going on.
Awesome. Very cool.
I'm sure. I don't know what that issue was. What happened? Yeah. Anyway, so let's move forward.
Facebook is just banning good content. That's
yeah, it just because we're so freaking awesome. Hold on, let me just
you
quickly
are
check something.
awesome.
So thank you for correcting my vocabulary.
Please, you got to be on top of it, man.
Oh, good. Yeah. It's saying going live soon, but we've already went live, so I guess it's just a little delayed.
For the Pacific Coast.
You're on the Pacific Coast?
No. I'm on the East Coast right now, but
okay.
It's a delay for the Pacific Coast as well.
Okay, it looks like it's back. It looks like it's working from
awesome. Hello, Facebook, hello, Meta, whatever it's called nowadays.
What?
I said hello, Facebook, hello, Meta, whatever it's called.
Yeah. I thought, Meta makes me feel old because the term, whatever. It's just like a term like millennials use, and I don't consider myself a millennial. So you have been in some crazy stuff, not to mention one very recently, but that I wanted to ask you about. But there was one of your earliest films. I think it was before Wolf of Wall Street, I believe, was Robin Williams. Yeah, Robin Williams' last film, The Angriest Man in Brooklyn. It was one of your earliest roles.
That was, and there, when I say this, it comes with an asterisk. I say nothing negative about extra work or background work, but that is what I was on that. I was just a background artist,
right,
among other great background artists. However, Angriest Man in Brooklyn actually came about a half a year after Wolf of Wall Street. So I got like a featured part in Wolf of Wall Street, and that was the set that I met a lot of important people on that I networked with and still remain friends to this day. And thankfully, we've made things together since then. So it's been a great, look back at how it's developed from there. However, Angriest Man in Brooklyn with Robin Williams came a good 6 months after Wolf of Wall Street, and then shortly thereafter, before Angriest Man in Brooklyn, was nonstop with Liam Neeson, as we were discussing before. But yeah, so as a background artist, I learned so much from these people, and I knew watching a collective, Liam Neeson, DiCaprio, Robin Williams, all these people, Richard Kind, with Robin Williams in that same film, who later on we'll get to him in a second. But
yeah,
it's I learned a lot from those people. So yeah, those were crazy experiences on great films too. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. You said you learn a lot just as that once upon a time back when you first started as a background artist. And I did when I did a film internship at Queens College. I learned a lot about the technical field of film, the technical area of working a lot about working in the technical area of film, and how you learn a lot, even as a PA, a gaffer. Anything technical you're learning as you're in the process of being on set. So I didn't even think about that. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. What's it called? That was one of your earliest films, and Richard Kind was in that scene. And then you just this summer,
one of those scenes,
One of those, yeah.
Yeah.
This summer you shot a movie right beside Richard Kind.
Yeah, spring actually in New Mexico.
Spring,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And who else was in that film? What's his name from John Wick 3, who is
Mark.
a famous martial arts.
Yes, and he is a huge TV personality, and I get to call him a friend, truly and honestly, Mark Dacascos. He's
Yeah.
a swell guy, and everybody in that whole cast. I mean, that film is going to be fantastic.
I'm
And,
looking forward to that. And I'm one of those
when
guys that likes Pretty Little Liars, so I'm a big fan of Janelle Parrish.
it's
Yeah.
so it's really funny you mentioned Janelle Parrish, and it's really funny you mentioned Pretty Little Liars. I just this morning, exactly like 9.5 hours ago, I had an audition, a virtual audition for Pretty Little Liars, their new show, Original Sin. So that's thank you for bringing that into the universe. That'll be
yes.
But I totally, you know what's crazy? I totally forgot she is in Pretty Little Liars.
Yeah.
And that is one of the things that really, showed her talent and brought her to. Wow, what a small
That's
world.
That's where I know her from. Wait, I never met her, but I met a couple of people from Pretty Little Liars, including Holly Mary Combs and Meg Foster, who was
Gotcha.
I know horror, famous for her horror. And every girl I know who watched Pretty Little Liars said like she was the creepiest part of the show.
Sure.
Because her eyes were just mesmerizing. But what you said, you were auditioned for Original Sin, or you?
Yes, I actually just had an audition for it this morning. That's
this morning. Oh wow!
Yeah.
So you don't know.
It's
You
just
don't
a
know
little
you're
part.
gonna.
I can't really talk about it, but yeah.
Okay, yeah. But I want to ask you about Run and Gun. Originally, it was called The Ray.
Correct. Yes.
But I know that happens a lot. They like Saw 9 or not Saw 9, the ninth Saw, which was originally called The Organ Donor. They renamed.
Is that a fact? It's called Organ Donor.
It was originally called Organ Donor, co-name, and then they changed it to Spiral from the Book of Saw. Yeah, Joe said Joe, this is our head guy, Joe. Apparently, I broke Facebook or our
Gabe always breaks Facebook. That's because he's awesome.
Saucy.
Sorry, correcting myself. Saucy.
Sorry. Watch your vocabulary.
All right.
Yeah, I have to laugh those vodka diets almost 3 days in 1 week. Anyway, sorry, continue.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so yeah, we shot that in March in New Mexico, and that was honestly probably, as of now, one of the most. I don't even know how to describe that kind of an experience, because you get to work with Richard Kind, you get to work with Mark Dacascos, and I was playing a character who it happens to be very close to these two characters, that are being played by Mark and Richard, and one of our producers, who's also happens to be the lead, Ben Milliken, he's a very talented actor, and he led the whole thing, and just learning from an actor who's almost in every single scene in the film, which was Ben. And it was just, watching how he maintains the energy of the character throughout the whole thing. And I was there for a good 2/3 of the whole filming. And I was just so blessed to be there for that long in such a beautiful state as New Mexico, and such a beautiful city as Albuquerque. And I'm not just saying these things. It was just, it really is the land of the enchanted there. And especially when you're filming a movie, I mean, it's fantastic with the producers and the filmmakers and the actors that I worked with. I get excited talking about them, and I praise them any chance I get.
Yeah,
including the director, Christopher Borelli, who the cool thing, maybe you I think you'll appreciate this more than anybody out of the film people I know right off the top of my head or whatever. But you know what miniatures are?
Yes. Like the maquettes.
Yeah, exactly. So I never heard that word. I mean, I heard that word, but I never really applied it to that.
So like the props to like the miniature ships and
make it look like it's a real life and exactly. So the director of this film, who also co-wrote it, his name is Christopher Borelli. He did the miniatures on Armageddon. He did the miniatures on Con Air, and he is just like one of the coolest editors out there. One of the coolest editors I know. And he directed a great first feature film, and I can't wait to see it. Can't wait the world to see it. It's going to be fantastic.
That's great.
I'm very passionate about that film.
Oh, that's great. Oh, what's it called? Who else was in? Who else was? What was his name? He was in the Stephen King's The Stand, the remake.
Yes, Brad William Henke.
And he was one of my favorite roles in The Stand. When I saw you working with him, I'm like, this is just like such an enticing and intriguing. I'm so interested in seeing what this film will become.
The word intriguing is how I would describe that, John. He is incredibly intriguing. He is very in character. You can't socialize with him, and I totally respect it. Like literally when I first got to like set. It wasn't even 2 set. It was like I literally just came from the airport straight to the fitting, and it was like the first person I met was him, and I had been following his Instagram stories ever since our table read. And I was like, kind of like just keeping myself updated on what's happening. And then I'm like, dude, your stories. And if anybody has Instagram, please go follow Brad William Henke. He's got the most inspirational Instagram stories there are. Totally worth checking out. So I kind of thanked him for that. I kind of reignited my spirit and being motivational and whatnot. But yeah, no, dude, this cast is incredible. Janelle Parrish plays a great role in this. We have a great actress who is just a guest star on Law and Order on SVU. Her name is Allison Thornton. She's a great actress. And man, there's just so many great people in this cast. And it's Hudson Yang, who's really hilarious. He's got a great part in this. Yeah, I can't wait for this movie to come out. It's coming out soon.
I'm really excited. You gotta let me know in the trailer. I want to see the trailer before the movie.
I can't wait to see the trailer. I can't wait to see what they do.
I'm one of those people that goes to theaters that the movie doesn't feel the same if he misses the trailer. The trailers,
yeah,
like my father and I, and we just love watching the trailers. Like going to the movies doesn't feel the same if I miss all the trailers. It's just like it's not
100%, and especially like. To me, a movie going experience, to me, the ideal, not typical, but rather the ideal highlight of my childhood was like going to see a James Bond movie, but you can't miss the first 15 minutes. And you can't miss the first 15 minutes before that. You got to be there for those trailers, because that movie, when James Bond hits, you don't even know it's starting, because
it starts on a
really
rush.
Juicy cold opening.
Yeah. It's like a song. It's like
you got to be there. You got to be there for it.
For me, that's like the Saw movies, like because it's so intricate, you got to pay attention to everything. Hold on. Joe says, "Love your shirt, Ari. I need to find one of those." What? Bada bing.
Funny enough, my cousin Joe in Oakland got me this, but I think it's called Damage. I'll get the name for you. As a matter of fact, hold on one second. It's on my laptop. Das Bootleg. It's called Das Bootleg.
I love that.
That's where you can find the shirt.
Whenever I think Bootleg. Whenever I hear
I'm not promoting any company or anything like that.
And it's all good. Whenever I hear Das Boot or anything, I think of Beer Fest. That's like the one movie that comes to mind. But what's it called? Yeah, that's like with Saw, because it's like so intricate and you got to pay attention to so many details.
But this is a totally Sopranos reference.
Oh no, I'm talking about the James Bond thing you're talking about.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, going back to that. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, it's all good. That's all good.
Bad. It's all good.
No, it's all good. But also, you know what? I've watched several times over, which was absolutely hilarious and a lot of fun. Was you were in Rock Dwayne Johnson's Rock the Promo finale, yes. And I know I always bring that up. It's just like it's The Rock, so it's like and when you threw the muffin at him, I crack up every time. It's like he's like, what the hell was that? Like, and you guys had so much fun in Vegas. Like, I was watching this. I was watching the whole thing. Like, this looks like so much fun. And I showed it to my friends. Like, they know who the other guys are too. It's not just The Rock. It's everybody involved. Like, it's just like the whole. Yeah.
Right. No. That man.
I don't know. I don't know wrestling. I don't know wrestling like you do. So I didn't know all the characters in the.
Sure.
Because I know you're a big.
Oh yeah, wrestling... No, these were totally. Sure. No. So Rock the Promo, the beauty of it was you had real legends of the industry, whether they're still with WWE or not, doesn't matter. They're still legends of the industry. Wrestling is wrestling. You had them pretty much guest host every single episode that featured wrestling fans, writers, creators, real wrestlers too, and just straight out actors, basically writing promos and competing against each other on a weekly basis. So even though this was like a singles competition, as they would say in any kind of fighting situation, sport or whatever, or UFC or whatever, or wrestling, one of my close friends, Glenn, and we decided, look, Glenn, you're a great writer. We both have great looks. We can combine our forces here and do something. So he kind of hesitated, but then we met up. We decided on a few names. We could have gone like a political route, and then we decided maybe not. And then so he totally, the credit goes all to him. The Sweet Revenge, that was his idea. That he thought of he's going to be CC Macchiato and I'm going to be Stud Muffin, and we're going to be this big duo.
And you threw the muffin.
and it worked. It worked because we represented, we kind of represented, two different cultures coming together, and it was, people from different backgrounds, but like obviously it just worked. I'm this big, husky, big, chubby guy, and he's this built, muscular dude, and we just meshed. It was like it just works. The image worked, like everything works. The pink aprons, everything just worked. And The Rock took notice of that. For anybody who knows wrestling, we had Rey Mysterio who approved of us. We had Cody Rhodes approve of us. We had Mick Foley liked our stuff.
Wow.
The Rock liked our enough to get us to the finals, but obviously the winner was, the dude who won, who is a real wrestler, Joseph Joe Brody. He is a very talented man. He's good at what he does. He's great at what he does. But the whole muffin thing was, we ran out of time, and I was supposed to, or Glenn was supposed to say, and that's how the cookie crumbles. And I remember there was like crafty at the thing. So like, morning stuff, because it's like 10 a.m. in the morning. So I just grabbed the muffin, I put it in my pocket. I was like, Glenn, I got an idea. But we ran out of time. And so I was like, I have to get this muffin out of my pocket. It's going to look weird otherwise. So I took it out, I tossed it, and just like, bro.
Dude, I think the reaction was even better.
Yes, exactly, because that was all live. It was unscripted. The Rock, nobody told me to do that. I decided to do that at that moment. I knew it was going to add awkward tension. And I'm acting serious, but I'm kind of pissed because I felt like we kind of got jibbed. And obviously then kind of the days fell off. I still was so appreciative of where I was. Got a free trip to Las Vegas, got to meet The Rock, got to take a picture with him. He did a shout out for my brother. Grateful, ever grateful for this experience. However, it then dawned on me that it was predetermined, as it always is, who was going to win this particular thing. However, the fact that the only difference is this dude got like a $2,000 belt and we didn't. But honestly, we won either way because of this experience. And, I even went and wrote like a whole 6-episode miniseries based on the characters that were involved, and it all made sense. But
the memory is priceless.
Move on to something else.
The memory is more priceless than anything you could have won from the show,
100%.
except for more memories from that. But like that alone is just.
And when he's one of your heroes, for example, meaning sometimes it's you meet your heroes and they don't turn out to be like
Yeah, I've heard that.
Fortunately enough, I have not yet had that experience.
Yeah,
fortunately.
Same.
Yeah, and with somebody I would consider a hero. But for example, him, I do consider a personal hero of mine because, he kind of instilled that whole entertainment thing. When I was little, my family will tell you, the whole eyebrow thing, I bought his glasses, I bought his shirts, I did the fancy button-down thing, I pretended I'm him, I raised the arm. I was obsessed with him, and I think Glenn multiplied that by 10. So we had to be a part of this. And
Joe or whoever's behind this one says, "Great guest, Gabe. I'm sure Ari gets this all the time, but he could make an awesome Dom DeLuise in a film."
Oh, I've heard that one before.
I actually see it now that you said it. I see it.
I've heard that one before. It would be an honor to play Dom DeLuise, but I also get the dude from The Honeymooners. I am blanking out right now. I shouldn't be blanking out.
Gleason, Jackie Gleason.
But Jackie Gleason. Jackie Gleason. Yes.
But can I tell you something? It's funny because when I think Dom DeLuise and you're like you've done all these mafia and like mob and that was Joe and Russian hitman because you are you're Russian. You're Jewish like me, but you're also part Russian, right?
I'm fully Russian. Fully Russian, but I was born here.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I feel like you could pull the Godfather thing like Dom DeLuise did in Robin Men Tights, like even better than like you could do Dom DeLuise. You could do Dom DeLuise as the Godfather. Like I was gonna say that,
or even the eclectic Dom DeLuise from Cannonball Run. Or from Fatso even. Dude, like I wish they make a movie on Dom DeLuise. Maybe a documentary. Maybe just a a biopic on that era of actors.
Because they could reshoot stuff using you. Like, can I tell you something? I don't know if you saw the Shining sequel, Doctor Sleep. They used Henry Thomas to play Jack Nicholson. They used my friend Alex S. I know the girl Alex Esso who plays Wendy Torrance's character, who looks like Shelley Duvall with the
oh shoot,
the wig and the kid. Everything was reshot. They didn't use any archived or old footage for the Shining sequel. Everything was reshot with making people look like them.
Wow.
So it's not far off. Like if they do that, you would be the perfect person to pick the Dom DeLuise.
I could definitely do Dom DeLuise. I mean, that guy, it's not that he's easy to like capture or encapsulate the character of, but like it would be so much fun to play him because nobody knows like the personal side of him. Neither do I. I'm not saying it like I do, but like something to that actor.
Can I tell you something? It's like I always forget to pronounce his name. Takai, the one who did Jojo Rabbit. Takai. Takai Waititi?
I don't want to butcher it. I don't know why.
I know, it's fun. Yes. So let me butcher it for you. So I don't want you to butcher it.
Fantastic filmmaker.
Yeah. So we know what he did to research before he played Hitler was basically not doing any research at all and just doing his old thing as a big fuck you to Hitler. So like that was like
I heard about that. Yeah.
And that was like that's great. But for Dom DeLuise, you've got the look, you've got the characters you've played. All you got to do is do a little research on his persona as a person. Yeah, that's all you need. But I wanted to go into some other stuff.
Sure.
You've been in Orange Is the New Black, and and I know you didn't work with Natasha Lyonne, but you were in the same episode.
I did not get to meet her, unfortunately.
Yeah, you didn't get to meet her. And I think I told you the story. Growing up, she and her parents got their Shabbos food from my father every week in Great Neck. She was like, her and her parents were like,
you mentioned this to me.
When she was like a little girl. I was like a baby back then. Yeah. And, but you did, before COVID, you said you were going to audition for Russian Doll? Or I
did audition. That was Russian Doll was the last audition I had in person before the COVID hit, and just like COVID was already here when I was going to that audition,
right? But the pandemic, yeah. So did they carry on with season 2 yet, or you can't say?
I think I think they filmed it already. If anything.
Oh, so you can't say if you're involved. Were you involved, or you can't say if?
I didn't get cast.
You didn't get cast.
But
I saw
you.
Yeah. And I know Love Life, The Blacklist, that, like you have, and can I tell you something? I know a lot of people, and there are people older than me who I know that don't have the repertoire you have. Can I tell you, and you also have what else? Oh, and I watched my father joined me in watching Big Dogs, which we binged.
Oh.
So and also I love Lance Hendrickson, and
he's in a big movie right now. No, he just came out with a film, or he's coming out with a film that's got some big names in it.
I heard about that, but I also he also did another film recently that I bought that I didn't watch because it hits close to home with Viggo Mortensen wrote, and he played Viggo Mortensen's father. It's basically Lance Hendrickson's character has Alzheimer's.
Oh yes, that's another one.
So I bought it. I didn't watch it because it makes me think of my grandmother, because my grandmother died of Alzheimer's. So it's like I want to watch it, but I can't bring my it was years ago, but I can't bring myself to watch it. But I gotta tell you, I met him, and he puts my Tourette's to shame, because every other word that comes out of his mouth is a curse word, and he is flat out hilarious.
This is Lance you're talking about.
Lance Hendrickson. He is one of the most. Yeah. He is the only actors I cannot watch without laughing, because he's the least serious guy in the film industry I've ever met as a person. But he's hilarious, and I'm watching. I think Big Dog was the closest to his persona of anything I've ever watched with him, because he's constantly cursing at him and Brett. Brett are constantly cursing each other out. Brett Cullen, and it's funny because you were in Gotham. And Brett Cullen was in Big Dogs with you, and also he played Jonathan Wayne in The Joker.
I never made that connection, but you just did. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, I do
I
that a
love
lot.
that you made
Yeah.
that connection.
And
Cool.
before I
I love
knew
that.
you, before I knew you, or right before I met you, probably, my friend, let's just say, like, my friend who does that Batman stuff, I invite you to, like, he does the charity thing with the, I gotta
Yeah,
send
yeah,
you the
yeah,
link.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
With the card.
So yeah, so the kid who plays Batman in Gotham in the show that you were in is a religious Jew. He doesn't even film on Shabbos. Like, he keeps Shabbos.
Yeah, I heard that.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and my friend who does the Batman stuff did a whole event with him. And I didn't go because I had, like, the Tourette's Gala the night before, but, like, just a chill event. So, and I'm like, like, two Jewish Batmans.
Is he a Sephardic Jew or?
I don't know. My friend's Sephardic Jew. I don't know about the kid from the show.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
That's
it
what I was
makes.
wondering because it's funny. I saw him on set, and I'm trying to think if it was a Friday because he wasn't in any of my scenes, but they're filming like simultaneously 2 different episodes when they were. But yeah, no, I don't think it was well, I don't know. Could have been. I don't know. I don't know. But
I call them Jewish
that is
Bale.
true. I did hear that story as
Yeah.
well.
I call them Jewish Bales. Yeah, as opposed to Christian Bale, Jewish Bale.
He's a fantastic actor. He was fantastic in that series.
The kid? I
Yeah,
never,
he was really
it's
good.
funny. I never finished the series, but I did watch a lot of it. And actually, one of the Saw actors I know from the Saw crews, I think, was not commissioner or some. He was like he was in one episode where he played something in the police force. Ned Bellamy, who was on the Saw crews with me. He's from Shawshank Redemption and Saw, the whole 9
You sound
yards.
familiar.
He played. Okay, so he's been in a lot of stuff. He played one of the roll call guys in Shawshank.
Man, I wish I saw what he looked like just now.
I'll send you a photo. But he was actually in Twilight as well. But he actually runs a theater with Tim Robbins in LA. He said if I'm ever in LA, I should let him know. And yeah, Ned's great. And Mark Ralston, who's also from Shawshank,
That name
who was
sounds
there
so
with us.
familiar. I mean,
Mark Ralston also worked with
Mark Ralston. Is that what's his name?
Oh no, the other guy, Boggs from Shawshank. He played Boggs, Mark Ralston. He was also in Departed with Leo. But you know who played Boggs? They beat his legs for raping Tim Robbins' character. So he was also on the cruise with us. He's the one who told me.
Is he light hair? Is he like a blue dude?
He was also in Aliens, yeah, with Lance Hendrickson. But Mark told me I should write my book of Saw words. So yeah, he's great. But also, so what else? You've been in a lot. But Big Dogs was great, and that was also you co-starred with Liam Neeson's son after working with Liam Neeson on a couple of films. Even though I know that was earlier on in your repertoire, but still, that's a big deal. And I love that. What you froze? Okay, good. There you are. You froze for a moment. But you've also
you froze for a little bit. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Elsa's just really letting it go on us. No, what's it called? Blue Bloods, Law and Order. I know you were in the first episode of the new Law and Order, in a scene with Dylan McDermott, and you got to work with Chaz Palminteri again because I know you worked with him in Clover, which was quite a cast too. Ari? You hear me?
So I do hear you. You're freezing up, and then you're catching up. It's like and then you're like.
I'm getting that.
And now
that's you. Yeah, I'm getting
slow. But hold on.
Yeah,
we'll get back to it. Hold on.
Yeah, sure. Are you? I can see you.
In a second. Give me a second.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Okay. Good.
This should be better. Okay. This should be better. All right.
Yeah.
This should be better. So I'm sorry. You were saying something about Blue Bloods. You're saying about Dylan McDermott.
Oh yeah, Law and Order. You were in a scene with Dylan McDermott and Chaz Palminteri, but you also worked with Chaz in the movie Clover, which was I loved.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was quite a cast too. And you also got to. Yeah, that seemed like it was fun. And I think you were like you grew up as a fan of what's his name, who was in Scary Movie, and you got to work with him, or you knew it. I forgot what you said.
Yeah, no, I got a great story if I could tell one.
Oh yeah, please go ahead.
No, of course. So John Abrams, or Abraham,
Yes.
however people consider his name, but Johnny Abrams, is a one of a kind individual. Just let me tell you that. And right now he's going to become a little more available to be met because he's doing a lot of these horror cons overseas in England and in the UK and stuff. And I think he's going to be doing them here in the States. So definitely, if you have a chance to meet him, I so
100%.
highly encourage you to go,
Yeah.
because John is such a sweet dude and such a nice guy. He has done a lot for me in my career, and it's all through just genuine friendship and just like nothing ever expected. So on Nonstop, I at that point already had business cards with like
Oh,
three.
right, and I think he was in that he also was in that, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
he had a small
I
part.
remember, yeah.
He had a small part.
Like, I recognized, wait a minute, another movie that they were in together.
Yeah. There you go.
When my
And
father
I
was
mean,
watching it,
well,
yeah,
this is
again,
how
yeah.
it all started. So he was playing Dennis Quaid's daughter's husband, and they were just a couple in the plane, and they had some nice scenes together. And so one day in Crafty, I take one of my crappy little business cards, and one of my crappy little headshots, or three of my crappy little headshots on them, I should say, and I give it to him, and I'm like, hey, first of all, I want to tell you I'm a huge fan of you. I watched you growing up, and nobody seems to really recognize him, and I don't understand why, because he looks the same he did back then.
Yes, he
He's
does.
kept
I
the youth,
recognize
and
him
he's in
right
his
away.
40s. He's such a sweet dude. Anyway, so like, I give him my business card, and he takes it gratefully, graciously, whatever the word is, and he's appreciative that I recognized him and all that stuff. And yeah, so years go on, and this is like, I believe now, this was 2012. So now a few years go by, and 2014 rolls along. I believe this happened in 2014. I was coming back from Los Angeles with my grandfather, and I was visiting his sister, my great aunt, and we're in the gate for like our Virgin America flight. And pretty much in the same gate enters John Abrams. And I'm like, what are the chances we're on the same flight? Okay. He remembers me. He points at me. He's like, dude, I remember you nonstop. I was like, how funny. We're on a plane together again. And my grandpa, he obviously doesn't know who he is. So all I had to say was he played De Niro's son in a movie called Meet the Parents. And all my grandfather had to hear was De Niro's son, actor, played. Oh. That's it. Total reverence. I don't have to mention anything else, like as if my grandfather had seen scary movies. But I digress. Anyway, so he, I give him my business card again, and it's different at this point. And he takes it again, and I'll never forget the following thing. We keep in touch on Instagram here and there, and then all of a sudden, 2017, 3 years later, he is in development. So he had done a film already called All at Once, and it was like a romantic dramedy. I would say there's some comedy, there's some drama, there's real drama in it.
Never
There's
one film
romance.
that's any one genre anymore. It's always
Yeah,
more than one
exactly.
genre.
And Johnny made a great film with a mixture of those genres. And so that was kind of a proof of concept for what he was making later on. So I kind of didn't have a slight place in there, and I never really even thought about it or knew that he was making a film or anything like that. It didn't, whatever. But then all of a sudden I get an email from my manager, because they reached out to her, and they said that we would like to offer your client a role in the upcoming feature film Clover, to be directed by John Abrams. And as soon as I saw that, I reached out to him. I was like, bro, are you serious? He's like, absolutely. And I'm talking, this is a $5 million budget feature film. And he set me up in a way that not only, and I don't do it. Money is not what's driving me. It's just being on set. And being on that set, besides that, the fact it paid nicely, because it was all kind of wrapped around Thanksgiving. And in our line of work, if you work around the holiday, it's going to treat you very nicely. But Buffalo, we shot this film in Buffalo, and people are like, avoid Buffalo, avoid Buffalo. I'm like, no. Buffalo's got some hardworking, salt of the earth people, and they got good food, and they're all friendly, and they're all welcoming, and they're all diverse. And I'm like,
I love
man,
that.
it was just worth working here, period. Like, the best wings, the best people. I made so many friends there, and it was all thanks to Johnny. Like, literally.
Buffalo wings?
You
You said the best wings, so buffalo wings?
Best
Sorry,
buffalo wings. Yes, best buffalo
Buffalo,
wings.
buffalo wings and buffalo. Sorry,
Yeah,
I had to.
I don't eat unicorns. No.
It was buffalo wings and buffalo. I just had to. I like playing words. Sorry.
Yes, and the best buffalo wings in Buffalo, and I am going to plug my friend Duke's restaurant, is at Duke's Grove Bar and Grill. All right, DGBG or whatever, DBGB, something like that. It is the best wings in Buffalo. I am totally butchering the name right now, but they're just absolutely fantastic, and they ship to New York City. So if you want buffalo wings, dry, frozen, dry pack, whatever, ice, all that stuff, shipped to you overnight. Duke's buffalo wings in Buffalo are the best. And yeah, my friend JJ Alfieri is a big restaurateur there. But no, we're digressing. We're talking about food now. No.
Buffalo. Who doesn't want to talk about food?
Exactly. Didn't get to meet Ron Perlman, although I love his work.
Yeah.
But the fact that, Chaz Palminteri spent a few days with him on set, all thanks to Johnny.
That guy's a legend, Chaz.
Yeah, 100%.
My friend just bumped into him in New York City recently.
Oh, really? Nice. Probably around his restaurant or something.
Yeah. I think he was also recently at a game, like one of the local sports games. I mean, in New York City.
Cool. Yeah. Nice.
They had him on the big
screen. He's a very social guy. He's out and about. He's He's a really. If you ever have a conversation with him, man, tell him to tell you about the power of the word no.
Power of the word no.
Yeah.
He seems like a mensch. He's
definitely a mensch. He's fantastic. Very nice guy. And also was really cool to work with Mark Webber, who who's in Scott Pilgrim versus the World and a bunch of other cool things.
I loved him in Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead.
Yes, that was great too.
Yeah,
that was really good. And it's just like dude, we're in the same van going to the airport, literally just laid side by side. I'm like, what? This is incredible. I'm like, I was 12 years old when I saw you in that film, and he was 5 or 6, 7 years older than me. It's like,
hey, listen, John Abrams, when he I didn't scare movie, he was 21, 22 years ago.
Yeah, he was 20. In that case, he was 20.
Yeah, it was you're right. He's in his, but he looks the same. Looks exactly the same.
Yeah, I mean, I saw him this past summer, and just looks like he's didn't age out of that film.
Sounds like me. I'm lucky if they stop carding me at age 70.
You said you're older than me. I had no, bro. You look younger.
Yeah, I know. I'm 34. I say I'll be 40 in 6 years. I try not to think of it that way.
Don't think of it that way.
Yeah.
No. Don't think of it that way. Think of it that way. You're only 4 years from 30. That's how I think.
4 years. I like that. I just say it I don't, and then I see people go like this. I'm like, I don't want to make you do math now. I know it's a little late.
Complicated. What the fuck age are you? Sorry, I don't know if I can curse on the show. My bad.
No, you can. I already did it. Like I told Costas, who's one of my heroes, who's Costas Mandalore.
Dude, Mafia. My big fan.
No, that's Lewis. Costas.
Sorry, Costas. Sorry, I thought you meant Lewis. I'm sorry, I thought you meant Lewis.
No, it's fine. They look so much the same.
I know. Yeah, Lewis. My bad. Costas Mandalore is he. So I have a friend who's actually close with him, closer than he is with his brother.
You have 2 friends who are close with him.
No, one friend who's close with Costas. Oh, you now? Yes, of course. At least 2. Yeah. Tell me about that. How'd you guys meet?
Originally when we first met, we weren't really close. It was just more. It was the first big Saw event. It was in Chinatown, and the guy who represented the actors, who I've known for years, who originally it was just I bought the props from him and became a John Rabin at the time. It's 2005. And then he represented the actors back then, and then we became friends, and then he introduced me to a lot of them, and we just met. But it was 2000. It was Texas Frightmare, where I go for my birthday. The first one I went to, 2011, where I met again Costas and Shawnee from Saw and Carrie Elwes for the first time, and it was my birthday weekend, and it became. And then the next year was the Saw cruise, and by then, we had a Chill Buffalo Wild Wings thing in Portchester with Costas, and we became buddies there. And then we were having fun on the cruise, chilling playing the roulette table. He was hitting on the female dealers. I was making jokes, quoting the Godfather. We were just fooling around, having a great time across the boat. I embarrassed all the actors with stuff I knew about the movies, and then they embarrassed me, and we all laughed about it. And Costas speaks better Hebrew than a lot of Jewish friends I have.
Wow.
And he writes me like Lila Tov, in Hebrew, but he is and he is the sweetest guy. And Costas and I keep in touch, and he is one of my favorite people in the entire world. He truly is.
Which Saw film is he in?
He's in 3 through 7.
Gotcha.
He's in
He's
3
playing the
through
same
7.
character in all of them.
Oh yeah.
Gotcha.
He's one of the main apprentices. He's like the longest. He has the most screen time of any of the apprentices throughout the whole.
So you see, man, you lost me at Saw 3. So
3, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
No, but that's why I haven't seen past 3.
You haven't seen past 3. Okay.
Remind me who he plays in the third one.
So the third one, he had a small role. Like, you didn't. I sort of spoiled it there. He's basically one of Jigsaw's apprentices, but he has a small role.
I figured that.
Yeah, so he's a detective and forensic role in Saw 3, but he's like the main detective in Saw 4 on the Jigsaw investigation. But it's revealed that he's like one of Jigsaw's inside men in law enforcement.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so he's and Saw 4 has probably one of the biggest mindfuck twists of any of the, because like even the director was like reading the script like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, because it was like fans were like, wait a minute, what the hell is going on? And then the end explains it, but it was just it. And Donnie Wahlberg was in 2, 3, and 4.
That's what I was just about to ask you. I thought he was only in one of them, but that makes sense.
3 of them, yeah. So
did they film? If you don't mind me asking, do they film like 2 at a time, or do they?
Oh no, they. So originally they did the first one, and they wanted to do a second one. Darren Bousman, who did 2, 3, 4, and 9, the one with Chris Rock and Samuel Jackson, he also I'm in touch with on Instagram, and he's a great guy too. Loves my puns and Sawisms too. So he wrote a script that was originally supposed to be something else, but Lionsgate saw it, or the producer saw it, and said, "This is Saw 2. We got to turn this into Saw 2." Right. And Darren got to direct Saw 2, the film, and he was like in his early 20s or in his 20s, and he's directed Saw 2, landed Donnie Wahlberg, and then the other two, the next 2 he did, he also got Donnie Wahlberg, and is like, and basically it was just
What year was Donnie Wahlberg's first appearance in that?
It's 2005. And to answer your other question, that was when Saw 2 was released.
So I'm just trying to see if this was, because he played a detective, right?
Yes.
If I'm wrong. So I'm trying to see if this was his audition for Blue Bloods, because Blue Bloods started, I may be wrong about this, but they started in 2010 or 2009.
They're in season 12, I think, now. So it makes sense about 2009. And the last film he was in
audition is what this was.
So 2008 would have been 2005 was Saw 2, 2007 was Saw 3, 2006 was Saw 3, 2007 was Saw 4. So the last Saw he was in was Saw 4, and that was in 2007. Yeah. And that's where Costas's reveal was revealed, and Costas and Donnie were side by side like the entire movie, but not as detectives. They were both in a trap together.
Sure. Oh wow. Oh, they were in the same trap.
They were in the same trap. It was like a 2 or 3 parter trap. Like, so it had to do with one of the other cops' test to save Donnie Wahlberg's character, and as well as Costas's character, who wasn't really in danger, but Donnie Wahlberg was. But they basically they before Saw 3 came out, they had already planned a 4, 5, and 6, but they didn't. They usually film it after like both the year of or the winter before or something like that, and it was October. So basically, originally they planned to go to Saw 8 in 2011, but because Saw 5 didn't get a great response. No, Saw 6 didn't get a great response because Saw 5 was a letdown for a lot of fans. So instead of doing it at up to 8, they go into 7, but they still carried on because the Saw fan is ever growing and ever loyal and loving of the franchise.
Honestly, sounds like one of the more. I'm not the biggest horror film fan, and it's not because of what it is. It's just never get into it and stuff like that.
For me, Saw is not a horror. It's a psychological thriller more than anything.
Right, exactly. But I still
like 7.
And a lot of people consider it a horror film. That's the thing.
Yeah, and I understand
one of the elite. I think it's one of the elite of the most elite psychological thrillers out there.
And what I love about it, and you could appreciate it because in the sense that it's the only horror franchise or one of the that hasn't been remade, hasn't written off sequels. It
Hasn't
hasn't
been
been like
remade because they're not done making
no,
their
no,
own
no,
yet.
not and what even the sequel, a sequel is a semi reboot. It's not a reboot. Like they're all connected. It's all one universe. It's like Marvel. That's what they're doing now. They want to do a Sawverse, like Saw movie spinoff. Because the ninth
Sure.
Saw was not Saw 9. It was a spinoff. So it was like Saw 8. Saw 8 was a sequel and a semi reboot. It took place 10 years later, but it was the same. It's all the same timeline. Just a lot of different intricate storylines, and Saw is just very intricate, very deep, no pun intended, because cuts deep.
Sure.
But it's very philosophical, and what's great about it is Jigsaw's character alone gives the story, not just his character, but the story itself, so much depth. And the movies are not just some random slasher, and like Jigsaw's not a slasher, but it's not about the gore to me. The twist, the writing is phenomenal, but just like anything with sequels or new seasons of shows, there's always going to be plot holes. You can't let plot holes and continuity errors throw off all the great, like the great things about a film, because anything you have sequels is going to be continuity errors. Whether you rewrite the story like Halloween or Freddy or Nightmare or Friday the 13th did or not. Like all of those slasher franchises are known for rewriting, like starting over remakes, or like ignoring sequels and then connecting the story again from the sequel. But you know what? I like the intricacy. I like the twists. I love the actors. And just like you said, like meeting your heroes, like Tobin Bell, one of the most amazing guys, and he always remembers me. He's also from like 20 minutes from me, like Forest Hills, New York.
Oh, wow.
So is Dina Meyer, who's also in Starship Troopers.
This is gonna be such a random question, but is he short or is he tall?
Tobin?
Yeah.
He's actually he's a little taller than me. And you know what? Okay. Can I tell you something? You know who's not too much taller than me? And Tobin's probably not too much off from him either. Ron Perlman.
Really? I would imagine that
so
dude's 6'4".
I'm 5'7.5", 5'8". Ron Perlman is maybe 6 foot tall, so maybe 4 inches. So he doesn't.
He's a massive man.
He is, but standing next to him, there wasn't much of a height differentiation. Now Chibs, from Sons of Anarchy, what's his name? The one who played Chibs in Sons of Anarchy, Tommy Flanagan. He's really tall.
Great actor.
Yeah, and Tyler Maine's tall, but and also what's his name, who I met, who's really tall, who also remembered me. Like that's also like Danny Glover always remembers me when he sees me as that big soft end, but he doesn't remember my name. But like some people know me, but like Carrie Elwes, I'm seeing him Friday, and he always knows me.
Is he a Saw dude, or he was
in the first Saw, and he returns in a later sequel.
He was in the first Saw.
Yes,
you're right, dude.
And when I tell girls that's Wesley who sawed off his foot in the first Saw, I was like, "What? That was Wesley?" Because all the girls love him as from Princess Bride.
Sure.
So yeah.
I mean, nobody. Everybody says people love them from Princess Bride, but nobody ever says they love them as the douchebag from Liar Liar.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. It's funny, or Glory. It's funny when I when I first met him, and this is where like he loved me and my friend Yoni, who I'd love to introduce you to someday. Who Costas me and Yoni were like a tripod of friends on the Saw cruise. And,
sure.
What's it called? We actually Costas and I called my friend Yoni who lives in Brazil with his wife, and my friend Yoni was like, that was amazing. Carrie, what's it called? What was I going to say was Carrie's just like, he's such a human being and a mensch. I've heard people had not such great, but usually people did things that like were not really right, but he always loved me. And like, I just saw the video I posted, I did a live stream chat with him about back in February or March.
Carrie, you mean, right?
Carrie, like a chat with him. Like I purchased one of the, and we're talking, and before he says, he saw my name, I said Gabriel, and he sees me, oh my God, Gabe. And he because he didn't, but every time he sees me, he gives me the biggest, and he gives the best hugs. Him and Costas give the best hugs. And except for the Soskas, the twins. Okay. It's hard to compare girls and guys when, I'm a hetero, whatever. I'm not going to go there.
Sure.
But Carrie's awesome. Oh, but regarding Liar Liar, I think that's the one movie he's not big on. I think one guy went up to going the claw, and like that's like the one he's the
Oh,
nicest guy.
really?
Nothing pissed him off, but that was like the one thing's like, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and I went,
And
yeah,
you don't
right.
remember his own reference? Like, come on,
Like
that
the
was
claw.
classic.
It's like that. I know. Well, actually, it was really Jim Carrey who did the claw, and Carrey was
Right, but he tried to redo it on the airplane scene. And he's like,
Yes.
I could do it. The claw. He's funny. He's just naturally funny.
Some guy went up to him saying, "Oh, I've seen all your movies, seen this and that. Like, have you seen Glory?" He's like, "No." And Glory's also a classic. And I know we're
That's
over
I'm
time.
sorry, you keep referring to Glory, and I think I know
Sorry.
this.
Yeah.
But that's the one with Denzel Washington. No, that's the one with Matthew
Den-
Broderick,
no,
Denzel
D-
Washington.
Denzel Washington, Morgan Freeman,
Morgan Freeman, right? Yeah. So
the
I
Carrey.
remember watching that in 9th grade, man. For like,
Same.
I signed up.
High school. Well, high school. Yeah.
My parents
Yeah.
had to sign like a permission form to watch it because it was rated R. I'll never forget that. That was a great movie.
My mother, yeah,
Wow.
my mother was a global history teacher for a number of years, so
Awesome.
she knows a lot about that. She had a Jehovah's Witness who got upset. The parents got upset because she showed her scene from Gladiator when they were teaching ancient Rome, and it was very, very graphic. I think it was the scene where he fought the champion, stabbed him in the foot, cut him in half, whatever. So, like, when you show that in high school, and parents are Jehovah's, there's always, this was before PC got bad, so.
I guess you could put them in the same boat as Joey Pantoliano's character in Sopranos. He hated Gladiator. You don't have flat tops in Rome, or some shit like that. Or I don't know what he was referring to, but he hated the Gladiator movie or some shit like that. But yeah,
your friends, some of your friends were behind the Sopranos prequel, or that the one you didn't like, you weren't a fan of.
Oh,
Saints of Newark.
No, I have. So yeah, so I know a few people who
worked on
in that.
Oh, actor.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, their performances were great.
Yeah.
Here's
in terms of the story. I know you talked about how it was shot or the story or something.
It's no. It was shot well.
Shot well. Okay.
The acting was phenomenal. I mean, Alessandro Nivola, I think, is one of the most underrated talents today. He is fantastic as Moltisanti. But the point is that as someone who's a Sopranos fan, as someone who happened to specifically already watched the show fully at once, rewatched the bits and pieces, and then decided to rewatch it again just to make sure I'm ready for this prequel. Because, man, I thought I was going to learn a lot. I learned nothing except 1 or 2 ounces of like knowledge that brought me back to making something full circle. But we still don't get to learn about Tony Soprano's past, how he meets Carmela. We don't get to know how this crew comes together. And to me, no offense, yeah, the acting was good, but there were some performances. Look, I'm not in it, obviously, but there were some performances that just appeared to me like they were just imitating the actors who already did it in Sopranos. They were kind of imitating them. So like,
it didn't feel like it was. It felt too much like it felt too much or not enough like Sopranos.
Exactly, and it was more like just a parody to some extent because like John Mangano is a great actor. John Mangano is a great actor, but in this film, he plays Silvio Dante, who was played by I'm forgetting his name right now, from the E Street Band. Fantastic musician, fantastic actor. I'm totally forgetting Steve Van Zandt. And what Steve Van Zandt created in The Sopranos was his own character. And here's John Mangano not being John Mangano as this character. He's being John Mangano pretending to be Steve Van Zandt being this, if that makes any sense. It's like,
no, I hear what you mean. He was trying hard to be another
don't
actor.
Make a caricature out of it.
Do your own thing, yeah.
Yeah,
you could pay homage. You could be the person without being trying to do somebody else's style.
It was too much. It was so too much. And it was like there's so much hype for a movie that really, I mean, it brought closure to a few storylines. But to be honest, it could have been better.
Yeah,
this would work as well as Boardwalk Empire worked if it was its own thing.
They filmed a lot of Boardwalk Empire near me. Like they filmed a lot of it like the Boardwalk, like 20 minutes from me, and like my friend, like Belmore, I think, something like that.
Very cool.
Yeah,
man, that show was hard to film. I never worked in it, but I know friends that worked as background artists.
My mother loved that film, and such a cast, and Michael Pitt, and such a great
Michael
cast.
Shannon, Michael Pitt. I mean, Steve Buscemi.
And Steve Buscemi, probably one of his most memorable roles of his career. because of that show.
Absolutely. I mean,
Wasn't his brother
Renaissance.
in Abnormal Attraction with you? Was that his brother?
Yes, that was his brother.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Michael and
Michael
Jason's
Buscemi.
yeah.
Michael Buscemi.
Michael Buscemi. And
Michael
yeah,
Buscemi.
and
He's
you could
hilarious.
see it in his face. You could see
Yeah.
and I loved Abnormal Attraction. That's where we first met at the Abnormal
Yes, at
Attraction
the premiere at that was it a festival?
That was the New
right?
York City Horror Film Festival. That
Yes.
was around the corner from FIT at the Chelsea Theater.
Yeah,
That's
I
where they
remember
usually
all
hold
that.
it. Yeah.
I remember
and that's
that.
where you told me I should do stand up. I said I'd rather just sit down.
Yeah, that's right. But you're
Yeah.
hilarious, and you should do
Thanks,
stand up.
man. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I know
man.
you have to go soon. A couple of last things, and
Sure,
I'm sorry.
man.
I know
Gosh,
originally
yeah,
we were
no,
planned
dude, this has
to.
been great. I love conversating like this.
Yeah. We got to get drinks, by the way. Maybe it's
Yes.
like, and I know things are crazy with the COVID
Before
situation.
New Year's or directly after, but we'll make it happen.
Absolutely. I'd love that, man. Yeah, I'm still waiting to find my sister's weddings in January. I'm supposed to go to Israel, but with the whole travel thing.
Wait, your sister, wait, when?
My sister lives in Israel.
Awesome.
She moved there 9 years ago. She's supposed to get married in January.
When in January? I'm so curious.
January 20th.
Crazy, because exactly 2 weeks before that, one of my best friends is getting married in Israel.
Really?
To his girlfriend, to his fiance rather, who is from Israel.
Are you planning on going?
Israel.
So you're planning on
I won't be available to go to the Israel celebration in January. Right. However, he will be having an American one shortly thereafter, which I'll definitely do.
I might ask you what his name is in case we cross paths.
Alex and Alina. Not Alina. Sorry, Elisa. Excuse me. Elisa.
Listen, Israel is a very Israel is a very small world. I bumped into my cousin. Like it's like the size of New Jersey. So I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised if somebody I met knew them or I met them, because within less than 2 days, my last time there, I bumped into a family friend, a couple who's a family friend, my cousin and my friend from from elementary school, all within under 2 days.
And you had no clue they were going to be there.
No, not at all. Well, no, not at all. And
were there like birthright trips going at the same time, or you just had no?
Yes, but none of them were on birthright trips.
Wow!
And actually, my cousin who was there, he's worked on Fargo season 4. He works in the art department for Fargo. He's worked it on Game of Thrones. He's done it for. He's doing another thing starring J.K. Simmons. It's going to be on Amazon. I forget what it's called. Cool. But he's worked on the art department for a lot of big things, which blew me away. I had no idea until the recent years.
Oh, he probably worked on the thing with J.K. Simmons for Hulu. Was probably
it wasn't. No,
never mind.
I thought it was the one with Chris Pratt, but I found out no, it didn't come out yet for my cousin. And by the way, another thing, my cousin, his father used to have play dates with Ben Stiller in like Far Rockaway Bayswater or New York City back in the day when they were kids. So it's like that Jewish geography type of stuff.
Sure,
And I grew up with Jerry Stiller before I grew up with Ben Stiller, his stuff. But yeah, my sister, I'm supposed to fly January 15th or 16th. My parents are supposed to go in December. So right now I'm really hoping things do get better, as much of a long shot as it may feel, but I hope for the best. Like Mel Brooks says, hope for the best, expect the worst, but I try to skew more towards hoping for the best.
That's right. That's right. Have you ever seen To Be or Not to Be?
Yes. Oh my God, I love that. Was one of the lesser appreciated Mel Brooks films that most people don't know about. But I like the WB11 WB channel movie at 1, like the WB. I remember like back when before everybody had cable. Everybody had the basic cable, and on Sunday they would have movies or cartoons, Animaniacs, Tiny Toons, Looney Tunes, and then like the WB movie. Like, and it's not like, so they would have that. And also I grew up watching Golden Girls with my grandmother, and we would watch. And I grew up. I that's like still one of my favorite shows. But like I binge watch stuff with my grandmother. Like we would, I would watch Jeopardy. I had an OCD thing where I had to catch The Simpsons at 5:30 or 6:30, so whenever they played it.
Oh my God, yeah, it was Simpsons at 6:30, Jeopardy at 7, Wheel of Fortune at 7:30.
Oh my God!
And I forgot what's at 8 p.m. But like maybe the news. I don't know.
We're not too far off from ages. So
no, we're not. We know our ABC 7 schedules, bro. Simpsons, dude, and then maybe after Wheel of Fortune, is it the news or is it? It can't be the news. It's probably like Family Guy or
no, Family Guy wasn't around yet.
Or American Dad or one of those. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Now, dude, so back then, Futurama.
I have
Drop.
yes. And like, dude, I remember when like my first DVD, like when DVDs were big. Like I like Blockbuster was my favorite thing in the world and Hollywood Video. But I
Yeah,
just want to mention was like I could remember things from when I was 3. I have a great memory, which is why like it can be just as much a curse as a gift. So like with a lot of I deal with Tourette's and depression, anxiety, but it's great for a creative mind and somebody who and that's why I have like all these jokes from 16 years of Facebook whoring going on up here, or 14 years. I actually forget which exact year I started Facebook, but I
sure.
did have MySpace once upon a time, and I once scrolled down my Facebook timeline. I ended up in MySpace. So
Wow.
yeah, I'm just kidding. Anyway, but dude, I will be in touch with you. I'd love to get drinks, but we were gonna. Oh
Absolutely.
yeah. Oh, but we're gonna say something about before the drinks, and I forgot what it was. But it's great. It was great. No, yeah, we're talking about talking and chatting. And dude, I know you're so busy, but I love that. Like, can I tell you something? Being busy is healthy. Having a routine is
Yes,
healthy. And like you said, the money isn't like. Obviously, it's relevant and it's important, but it's not what really drives you.
it's not.
It is a drive, but
Yes,
it's not
to a
what
certain
drives you.
small extent. But
Doing what you love.
and this is why I want to take this moment, if you would allow me, to just tell
Please.
anybody watching, for anybody watching live, for whoever will watch the recorded version, I've got a short film that I executive produce,
Oh,
I act in. I just definitely wanted to mention this
yes, I'm
because it's
sorry.
very important to me. It's important to my, one of my close friends, best
Glenn.
friends, Glenn. It's a story that's dedicated to his father, and it's pretty much for anybody out there who does struggle or knows anybody who has struggled with alcoholism, with addiction, with domestic abuse, with any form of any of that, or a combination of all, which unfortunately Glenn has seen, happen in his family with his father.
Person.
Unfortunately, his father passed away a few years ago. And all I know is that at the core of it, he was a good man. And Glenn wants to honor that in his story. And this story is called The Fix. It is for everyone to watch on YouTube. We're not making money off of this. We just want to show a story. And it's kind of, I don't want to call it a PSA, but at the end, it is a PSA. And we kind of just want people to know that there are ways to get help. There are ways to seek remedies. There are ways to make your life better.
Alternatives. Yeah.
Alternatives. There are alternatives. You don't need to turn to the bottle. You don't need to turn to the pills. You can turn to a friend. You can turn to a hotline. You can turn to a program. There are people you can talk to before you decide that you need to take that. Before you decide you need to take that extra drink, you don't need to, because the next thing you know, you'll be facing the barrel of a gun. You don't want to do that either. There is no reason to think life is over after a mistake. There's no reason to think that you can't get a second chance. There is no reason to take your own life away from, suicide is no joke. And this short film also kind of talks about what that could do. And so I highly recommend anybody watch this film to learn about, what people are going through, if, thank God they're not going through that themselves.
As
It's a real
somebody,
story. So
as somebody who's battled suicide, I always love when people speak up about it, especially through art. And can I tell you something? One of my there was 2 quotes I want to say. One of them was like basically the best drug for one human being has a heartbeat is like another human being. And there was also, I know the trailer for Train Spotting 2 highlighted a quote, I think by Ewan McGregor's character. I don't remember, I didn't see the movie, so I don't know exactly. I have to check, but it's
sure.
something about if you're an addict, so be addicted, but be addicted to something else. Be addicted to family, love,
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
Find something you enjoy, and don't be alone. And that was like that's one of my favorite quotes because it's like a positive spin on such a negative and horrifying and painful and heartbreaking path that
Yeah.
so many have taken and so many
Unfortunately.
battle. So, and I'm gonna share the shit part of my Tourette's or lack thereof out of the fix
Thank you.
on social media because I'm gonna I didn't
Thank
I should have asked I'm glad you said it here.
No,
And
don't worry about it. It's all good.
so
With
the
so much to
fix is
talk
the
about.
fix is on YouTube.
It is on
It's
YouTube. I can read you out the link, but all you got to do is type in The
I'm
Fix Glenn Robert Ford or The Fix Glenn Ford. It will be right there. It's a little bit over 20 minutes. And I also want to say, and anybody that wants to see how you can do this, I have the instructions on my Instagram. So basically, the fix is nominated for the FFTG Festival, People's Choice Award. And this is a worldwide film festival. It's a great film festival. It is something that is a great place for independent film, which is what the fix is. It is an independent short film. No studio made it, nothing like that. We made it ourselves.
And you said you're the executive producer on
I'm the
it.
executive producer. So
Yeah.
I helped get most of this cast together. I helped make sure that this film was going to get made. And it took a little while, but we got it done to Glenn's liking. And, Glenn's vision was never going to be dissatisfied. It was always going to be to satisfy Glenn's vision. And he made sure that he would always stick to his own plan. And I respect that he had, a goal in mind, and he achieved it. So pretty much what I want to say is, and this is not to plug my Instagram, but it is on my Instagram, and it's best explained there. But if you go to my Instagram, the Ari Barkin, you can find on my highlights right there on the top of my page is how to vote for this film. So, if you don't have 20 minutes of the day to watch it, fine, that's fine. I'm not going to force you. But if you'd like to, you still could on that website. And then all you got to do is register with a Google email, register with your Apple ID, register with any email you'd like, as many emails as you want. And then you'd click on My People's Choice Award vote. You'd have the option to vote for the fix and just cast my ballot. And it would mean a lot to get this particular story to be, we're nominated for
Push
People's
it,
Choice,
yeah.
but to win would just mean, kind of like full circle. We've won awards that, and we're so grateful for it, but to win a People's Choice Award would mean that our story resonated with people and it got out there.
Because it's not just a film, it's a film with heart, it's a film with meaning, and it's a film with purpose.
Absolutely.
And it's not like, oh, it's a film that that it has elements of purpose. It's driven with purpose. Its agenda is purpose. It's not political agenda. It's not a selfish agenda. It's a selfless agenda on a real issue. And that is something that I think anybody with the heart would support.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do that, man. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I just want to really give a quick shout out to the cast, really quickly. Just a wonderful little ensemble. Of course, Glenn Robert Ford. Marcus, our lead, is played by Lance Liverpool. Our female lead is Rebecca Hargrove, who I met in acting class, and I knew she had to be in this right away. Lance is a longtime friend of Glenn's, but he's also just a naturally talented actor. And he is an actor. He's a performer. He's just wonderful. We have George Andriacos, who is another friend of mine, wonderful actor. I knew he had that flair to play the mafia boss, the Sopranos type guy. We got Sergio Delavici, who Glenn and I know for a while. George also knows him for a while. We had to be, he had to be my the other goon to my goon, So it was a lot of fun gathering this cast.
You just love playing goons.
Yeah, man. I had to whip it out for this particular. For this particular project as well. And I also want to say a big thank you. I'm going to take this opportunity to say a big thank you to Park Plaza Diner and all the wonderful crew on the fix who let us do a project for literally a very minimalistic budget. Project.
And that's yeah. No, that's
really a blessing.
Yeah, I really got to check this out, and I'd love to meet Glenn one of these days. He seems like such a great guy.
Absolutely, he is a very. He's full of wisdom, and if you ever want to interview him, I can totally hook it up.
I would love that. Yeah, I would love that. Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
He would. By the way, he was. He was so funny in the Rock the promo.
Yes,
thing, by the way, the two of you, but he was like animated as fuck. Pardon my Tourette's again.
100%. No, should it's all good. I totally learned a lot from him, both writing, cadence, speaking, and just like delivering the promo, the rhyming, so Glenn is a spoken word artist. He is a writer. He's also a spoken word artist, and he's a rapper. He has made music before, and he still does, as far as I know, but he doesn't focus on it as much. But yeah, man, when you meet him, you'll understand what kind of a multi-talented dude this guy is.
Yeah, I'm multi-talented.
For an interview.
Yeah, I'm multi-talented, but the only rap I ever wrote was a song about tortillas. Yeah, and
funny.
Yeah, I have a way with words, but only because they have their way with me first. So I like the yeah. Anyway, dude, it was great to have you on. I'm sorry we went way over time than I anticipated.
That's
That
right.
we,
It's
no,
all
I could just say we went nonstop.
it's a nonstop. That's good. That's good.
But we'll be in
It's been
touch.
a awesome time. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Positively. Dude, we'll be in touch. Well, hopefully this holiday season we'll grab drinks. But dude,
Yes.
please keep me updated on Run and Gun. I'm so
You
psyched to
got it.
check that
You
out.
got it, bro. You'll be the first to see the trailer
Thank you,
as soon
bro.
as I get it.
Listen, have a wonderful happy Hanukkah, or as I call it, the Festival of Frights or Lights for the people who like to,
Happy Hanukkah to everybody
light
who
up.
celebrates.
Yeah, it's very. Let's keep it lit.
That's right. Let's keep it lit. 100%. Litty Schmitty.
I still got to get my Dr. Dre dreidels.
That
Ari,
is
have a
funny.
great night, man.
Have a
Thanks
great
so
night.
much for joining
Thank you
us.
so much. And Joe, thank you for the wonderful comments, man. Dom DeLuise in my future.
Absolutely. Sauce
Exactly.
episode.
Take
Take
care.
care, Ari. Be well,
Yeah,
brother.
man. Thank you so much.
You too.